We're going to talk about a little bit of how downtown works during the Halloween evening, and then we're going to talk about some on campus as well, alternatives that you have for Halloween. The downtown area, basically when you go downtown, it's going to be the whole downtown area where most of the bars and clubs are held is going to be basically roped off. There's going to be barricades out there. There's going to be 2 entryways and 2 exit ways, okay? So in order to get into downtown, you have to cross through these barricades. And when you get downtown, you will see a multiple amount of police officers. Agencies from all over the county will be working, Greenville's working. You're going to see a whole lot of people. You have to go through those barricades in order to get into downtown area, and that is because, again, it's all quarantined and you have so many people in a small area concentrated. These are your main exit and entryways. Most of the students end up going down through kind of where Chico's is there's a main entrance right there on the side of Chico's. That's one of the biggest entrances that we have. So for most of you coming from campus, that's where you're going to end up. But just to give you an idea of where they are. For those of you, when you're doing costumes, remember, we're going to talk about this, but real or not real, it doesn't matter. Safety is paramount during Halloween because, like I said, there's thousands of people crammed into a small area. Knives, guns, pocket knives, swords. Again, keep in mind, real or not real, doesn't matter if they're plastic, doesn't matter what they're made out of, part of costumes. Anything that has a pole on it, any kind of toy guns, anything with a sharp object. I've seen people go down there with large chains around their neck and stuff. They're not going to let you in with those. Basically anything that could be used as a weapon, even if in your mind you'd think, you know, it's made out of soft material or if it's made out of plastic, it's really not going to hurt anybody, it can still hurt somebody. And because of these reasons, the rules are a whole lot stricter downtown, and we hate to have you, spend all this money on costumes and stuff and then get down there and have it confiscated. So try to remember not to bring those types of things downtown because they will not let you through. There'll be a big barrel there. We end up with a full barrel by the end of the evening. But might save you some money if you don't even bother bringing them downtown. They will give you the option when you get to the barricades that if you want to go back to your vehicle, if there's something that you think may or may not get in and then they decide they won't let you in, they will let you bring it back to your vehicle. That is an option. But if you don't bring it back to your vehicle, it will be confiscated. It'll be thrown in the barrel and you'll probably never see it again. So think about that when you're doing the costumes because, again, you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on items that if it's going to get taken away from you. And as always, alcohol and drugs, not downtown. You can't bring anything in downtown. That's no different, obviously, than any other night. But let me tell you that we do, every year we end up taking stuff off of people. You are subject to a full search when you go through those barricades. They will have you take your hat off. They will have you, depending on what your costume is, I've seen some crazy things, but they will have you show as much as you can as far as moving items that are on your body, like hats and gloves and those types of things. Don't bring anything downtown. Don't think you're going to get away with it because I'm telling you there are arrests every year, and if they find it on you, they will arrest you and or cite you depending on what the situation is. Okay, so don't think you're going to sneak one by. We do have the metal detector. Again, possession of alcohol. You will be ID'd down there. And again, they will either cite you or arrest you depending on what you're carrying on you and or what the specific situation will be. And underage, they will cite them. And remember that all of downtown is going to be like that as well. No different than any other night, except for I'm telling you, if you haven't been down there, you've probably never seen that many police officers in one area. They're all over the place. So keep that in mind, please. Several agencies will be out, not only when you leave downtown, but remember that outskirts of campus, 1st through 5th Streets, where a lot of student housing are, the apartment complexes, all those major areas. Halloween night, we have extra patrols for your safety in all these areas. But again, remember that they can also get you in trouble if you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing. So be conscious and cognizant of that. Public consumption, same thing. No different than any other night, just more people down there to concentrate on and a lot more officers in the area. And the downtown area will close probably be about 2:30 by the time they get them all out, but probably around 1:30 or 2 they'll start shutting down the actual bars, and then it takes a while for us to get everybody out. But that's about what time it'll finally get shut down. Again, large crowds. safety. If you haven't been down there before for Halloween, there have been years when you are wall to wall, literally barely walking around. If you plan on going downtown and actually want to get into a club or a bar, don't show up at 11 or 12 because you're not going to get in anywhere. Okay? If you want to go down and get the experience of downtown, I suggest you go earlier. Number one, it's a little safer earlier. And number two, if you actually want to get in anywhere, that's after about 11 or 12, the lines are packed out the door, the people are, wall to wall, and really a lot of the fun's probably going to get taken away at that point. So remember that. Keep your eye on your drinks. If you do make it into the clubs, you do make it into the areas, as always, no different than any other night, but again, large concentrations of people, and it's Halloween night, so the dynamics actually intensify a little bit. Stay in a group, again, because of the amount of people that are concentrated down there. Stay with people that you trust, stay with people that you know, and don't leave each other, okay? Safety, safety, safety is what our main concern is. Again, there'll be a lot of officers down there, but again, there's just so many people. Stay in your group, stay with people that you know and that you trust. And again, expect long lines. I don't know what the weather's going to be this year. Last year it was pretty nice. The year before that, I think it was freezing. It varies, and those weather factors have a whole lot to do with how busy it gets downtown. If it's a nice out, then it's probably going to be that much more people. People come here from all over the eastern part of the state and beyond. I know we had a lot of people from Raleigh last year and those areas because they did their downtown a little differently. So there's going to be a lot of factors, but again, no matter what, it's going to be packed. It's just a matter of how much breathing room you actually have. But it will be very, very busy down there. So again, safety, safety, safety. As an alternative, and or even if you go downtown and you want to, kind of experience the Greenville thing and then, not stay down there all night, Mendenhall, as always, every year we have non-alcoholic alternatives. There's a lot of events that are going in Mendenhall. It is alcohol free. It starts at 9 o'clock. This year we have the Haunted Laser Tag, the Taste of Fear, which they've had the last few years. They got bingo, they got the Divination Lounge, they will be playing Scream in Hendricks Theater. There's a costume contest, and the prizes are actually pretty large down there, like it's money, and I think the top prize is like $250. So if that's something that, if you're into the whole costume thing and that's something you're interested in, think about that, because I think there's first, second, and third, I think is what they do, but I know the top prize is like $250, and then it is $150, and then I'm not sure what the last one is, but that's a good amount of money for a costume contest. So, and then there's all kinds of giveaways, food-wise, your regular foods, your popcorn. We do have a free breakfast in D360 over in Mendenhall. That's a yearly thing that they do as well, free breakfast for all you students. And then the rec center will have a dance over in the actual rec center part from 10 to 1, okay? That was pretty packed last year, actually. So it's a pretty popular, a lot of different events going on, an alternative to just going downtown, and, it is alcohol free, but again, downtown, I know it's, a lot of people talk about Greenville and downtown, and, it's the big party, but you get down there, and I'm telling you, half the time you can't even get into the club, and you're standing around. So, again, if you want to, have a taste of it, that's cool, but remember that there's a lot of alternatives here on campus. Obviously, it's a safer alternative, more controlled, and everything's free. So, and you can bring guests as well. So, you get a guest in free, and then I think they're charging. I'm not sure how much. I don't remember how much it was, but you can also bring other guests. You just have to pay. It's a minimal amount, and that's because all the food and everything's free. But again, so you can bring other people with you. Remember that you're responsible for your guest. When you sign your guest in, your name's going to go on that sheet as well, and you will be responsible for that individual. If we have issues with somebody that's a guest, there will be consequences, i.e., you may end up at student rights and responsibilities or some other, depending on what the situation is. But again, remember that this is your university, this is your environment, and you're responsible for the safety of yourselves and others, and especially if you bring a guest, that you're responsible for them as well and their actions. And it's on campus, just so you know, the entire police department will pretty much be working with the exception of people that are already on shift. Anybody that's not on shift, the majority of us are in here. So again, not only like downtown with extra officers, on campus there will be extra officers. You'll see a lot of them in every section, in every area of campus. So there'll be a multitude of us out there. Again, that's for your safety. We all want you to have fun, but we also want you to be safe. And Halloween night obviously brings a lot of extra dynamics. So your safety is paramount to us. Take advantage of the bus systems, just like not just Halloween, but I always plug this in for any weekend that you're out there. Those buses are out there for a reason. They're to get you safe from point A to point B. So A, you don't have to drive. If you don't need to walk, you're better off getting on a bus if a bus goes to where you're going. And that includes for those of you off campus, because the apartment complex in those areas, take advantage of those. Your student fees are paying for that, whether or not you live on campus. So take advantage of all those things that we have that are free, and obviously a lot more safer alternatives than you walking back and forth, especially on a night like Halloween. Keep an eye out for your friends, your roommates. We have a lot of alcohol calls that night, more so than regular weekends, obviously. Again, because it's Halloween. Keep an eye out for each other. If you know somebody's drinking a ton, okay, don't be afraid if you think somebody might have alcohol poisoning or have if you're with your friend all night, if they're down in shots and drinking beers and mixing all that stuff. If they start to exhibit any signs of what you think may be alcohol poisoning, please, please, please call. Don't worry about who's going to get in trouble for what, because somebody's life is a whole lot more important than you maybe getting counseled or having some other repercussions. Okay, that's minor compared to somebody's life or somebody being injured or anything like that. So please think about these things. Watch out for each other. Take care of each other. And be alert and be as safe as possible, whether you're on campus, off campus, walking around campus, after, if you go downtown, all the above. Again, there'll be lots of us there, but there's a lot more of you guys, so take care of each other, and hopefully everyone will stay safe. Like I said, travel together in groups. We don't want to see people coming back from downtown alone any night of the week, especially on a night like Halloween that obviously has its own special dynamics, more safety dynamics. Let someone know where you're going if you are going to wander off, which again, I encourage that you don't do that, but make sure people know where you're at. Especially downtown, because it is wall-to-wall people and you can't see each other. If you lose each other, it's going to be hard to find each other. And be respectful of others. Obviously, stay safe. Walk away from confrontation. If somebody's talking junk to you, it's probably the alcohol talking. If you can get away from that situation, get away from it. Don't engage that. You're only looking for things to get worse. Okay? Just think about your safety. Think about yourself and get yourself out of any situation that you can, without hopefully having any kind of physical altercation. And again, utilize the transit system. They're out there late enough to hopefully get everybody home. Again, downtown will be cleared out. Police officers won't leave until all of downtown is cleared out. So it probably will be more in the realm of 2:30, 3 o'clock before we get everybody out of there. But we want y'all to get home and get home safely. And if you're walking to campus, we want you to get to your dorm safely. Hence the reason we have all those extra officers there again, to get you home safe. And if you have any concerns, safety concerns, that's the police department main number, 6787. All right. Of course, 911 in case of any type of emergency, alcohol poisoning, or anything that you think is of immediate safety threat. Please call. Don't hesitate to call. We'll deal with everything else later. Your safety comes first. And happy Halloween, everybody.